everyone. Hello and welcome to the MegaMonsterCast, where today we are talking about episode 4 of Godzilla Singular Point. I am Nick, with me is Josh.
Hello.
He's sneeze. Hey, look at that.
You're can't stop the sneeze.
It'll happen when I least expect it now.
Ugh.
Yeah. So this episode starts with the follow-up to the last episode where we have the blood water.
Blood
Except
water.
it's not blood water. It's some sort of fucking red dust water.
Sand water.
Yeah. And we get Ebera at the start. I'm gonna call it a different kaiju every time.
Actually, I think that one's Manda.
Okay,
I need to actually double check.
okay. I thought it was the Godzilla again, and I was
No,
getting it
that
shit.
one showed multiple right at the start with the boat.
Yeah, yeah. And I didn't look too far into this one. I'm just going for the ride. You're the expert on this show. This is
Oh,
my
that's
first
fucking
go.
sad.
Hmm?
That is fucking sad.
Is it? Did
I've
I
never
accidentally?
heard.
Did I accidentally get it right and it is Ebera? Because if so, that's a really fucking weird take on Ebera.
No. Let's see. I'm bringing up some stuff.
Okay.
God, why is my Netflix just went to shit?
Yeah. But yeah. While Josh is looking this up, this is the fallout to all the Rodan attack. We get some newscast of it about how like, oh hey, there were a ton of these Rodan and they attacked, and we're gonna freeze a bunch of them so we can research them later. Go for it, Josh.
I was right. It was Manda.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, I know my kaiju's.
mhm. Again, I thought it was the weird take on Godzilla they're doing, so I was gonna. Last time I called him Anguirus, this time I was calling him Ebera, which Anguirus, not too far off.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite designs for the show. Probably
Honestly,
actually is my favorite design.
honestly, it's a really good one. Like, I need to see it a little more in action, but so far it looks nice.
That is episode 5.
That does not surprise me. The setup is ending the episode on Anguirus. I assumed Anguirus was the focus of the next episode.
It'd be like 3 episodes from now. Just really
It's just
fucked. Yeah.
it's just standing there the entire time, ominously.
Just waiting for movement.
Hmm. We also find out that the old man gets honored for dealing with the Rodan crisis.
Yeah.
And then we get some more talking head stuff. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like the biggest issue this show has is it was really heavily influenced by Shin Godzilla.
Boy, was it. And I agree.
Like, it wants to do all the Shin Godzilla things, but it doesn't do them the same.
Yeah.
Like,
It just doesn't hit the spots.
mhm. Like the whole talking head thing was a big part of Shin Godzilla, and like the whole like dealing with like government red tape and all this other stuff. And I appreciated it there, but I feel like it doesn't work quite as well on a TV show because it slows down. Like the pace doesn't work on a TV show, you know? And it's not,
And this one's just not as serious.
yeah, it's not saying the same things either. Yeah. Um, so we get a few other interesting. Like, again, we get a scene with the freelancer asking about other kaiju, basically. Again, kind of like I get that it's trying to set up the idea that we're gonna get Anguirus at the end of the episode,
Hmm.
but again, I feel like it uses all these little moments of like, oh, and we're gonna set this up. Oh, we're gonna set this up. And sometimes that would be nice, but I feel like
It's been every episode.
yeah, every episode has like a cutaway to something and then cut back and then cut to something else and cut back and like if you do that every now and then or you have like a movie focused on that, that's fine, but it doesn't it fucks with the pacing and the flow of a TV show if you're doing that all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely the flaw of this show.
Hmm.
That
It,
and the fact that there's a whole out of what 13 episodes,
hmm.
there's a whole 5 minutes of Godzilla,
I
if
believe
that.
that. I believe that. Also, we deal a lot with potatoes this episode. Can you turn hash
Ah,
browns back into potatoes? No, no, you cannot.
yes, you can make a potato ball.
Yes, you're technically right on that, but it'll never be a potato with the skin on the outside again.
That's why I make my hash browns with the skin.
All right, I would be
Whoever,
impressed if you can kind of like reform the skin back to the outside around it. I would be impressed by that one.
all I'm saying is,
Hmm.
anybody out there cooking their hash browns without the skin, or just cooking fried potatoes without the skin, you're doing it wrong. Eat the damn potato skin already, okay? Grow up.
Yeah, I always eat the potato skin.
Thank you.
It's got like plenty of nutrition. Like that's
Exactly.
where a lot of the nutrients are.
Exactly.
Anyway, yeah.
Hey, we're recording
Um,
here. Can't be squeaking.
Also, I love that they call this raspberry juice that she's drinking. She's clearly drinking wine. Just like have her
Yeah.
drink wine. Like you don't need to hide that a, a fucking researcher who I'm assuming is in her 20s is drinking wine. That's not a big deal. Like I get that we have
No.
her like dressed up like she's a high schooler. I'm assuming she's like in her 20s. Otherwise, they're doing the child genius thing, and I don't
I was gonna
feel
say
like this
they
needed that.
mentioned that the fact that she's gone to college.
Yeah, I knew that. Again, whatever. And there's like, I feel like there's a lot of time wasted on setup in this episode too. Like with every episode, honestly. Like we didn't really need the entire like her talking to the guy who's gonna drive her at the terminal, then all the
I
talk.
was gonna say the whole airport scene.
Yeah, the airport scene, the driving scene. I don't really think we need that either. Like there's a lot of time wasted on things that didn't need to be used. Like, oh, I guess we're going to establish what the city's like, but like you can establish that with a few establishing shots. You don't need them to talk about it. Just like show her looking around a little. Like that's you could have cut that down to like a few seconds and used the budget for something else. Like I think that's one of the other problems this show has that frustrates me. And again, this isn't nearly as bad as Gamera. Like Gamera, I couldn't watch at all. But this one like is at least watchable. But the problem is like it doesn't trust its viewers. Like a big part of like any visual media is show, don't tell. Like if you show things to your audience, they'll understand it. And because this show has to tell you everything, it feels like the show doesn't trust that you're smart enough to understand what's going on.
Yeah, this one honestly, this is a show I would just show to a kid.
Yeah, and I can see that. But even then, I feel like a kid would kind of get a little bored by it just because it's so slow moving.
Yeah, Yeah, there's not enough monster fights.
Hmm. And like, I don't know. You don't necessarily need to have like a shit ton of monster fights. The problem is it's just like the plot is very slow. And like all the characters are really like all the plot lines are very meandering. Like um I'm at looking at the episode now. I'm almost 10 minutes in and we've talked about like all the major things that have happened more or less. Like, and a lot of these plot points could have been like, you could have expanded on one thing by cutting a bunch of the fat and everything else. But because it's choosing to like allocate a certain amount of time to all these various things that don't need it, you can't really develop one thing a lot.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, really, the most interesting thing that happens up to this point is we've seen all the dead Rodans.
yeah, and we get the dead Rodans again, and we get like the three male characters like going like covering their noses because they reek. Like, if you wanted that to be a big part of the episode, cut parts from other scenes that don't need as much time
So I
and
say
expand on that more.
that should have been the episode.
Oh yeah.
And then cutting to some of what happened in the lab with
Hmm.
the skeleton.
Yeah. And like you could restructure this show like if you want other things to be like a focus at some point, like just recut the show so you have episodes focused more on that. Like don't split your focus across so many different things that nothing gets focus.
Yeah, like our scientists going to what is it, convention?
Hmm.
At first I thought she was going to the movies.
Yeah. But like honestly, we could have had just an episode like all the things that we've done with her, you
That
could
should
have
have been
just
her own.
cut them all together into one episode of just focusing on her. Like the first episode, obviously, you need to have those various like establishing parts for all these characters. But like episode two, three, and four, cut her scenes out of two and three. Tighten up two and three into one episode. Well, two like tighten up two, three, and four into two tighter episodes of two and three. Have her be the focus of episode four, with like still the reveal at the end being Anguirus. Like have the have her get her own episode instead of being like the cutaway for every other episode, because that diminishes her relevance too.
Yeah, and it takes a while before that starts to slow down, and even then, when it slows down, it's still too much.
Hmm. Again, like there's ways to make this like like oh what's it called the Renegade cut or whatever of Star Wars the like the prequels,
Hmm.
like how it cuts a bunch of the fat and condenses them down.
Yeah,
Like I feel like you could kind of do that with this show, but like you could cut certain scenes and then re-edit it and it would make it flow a lot better, you know?
I wouldn't doubt if that's actually already been done.
I wouldn't be too terribly surprised because again, like there's good stuff in this show. There really is. But again, the issue is just they want you to pay attention to too many things at once and also don't give you enough time to care about any of them enough. That's not the worst thing, but like again, it just it diminishes the show. Like it could be a much more engaging experience if you re-edit these episodes into like having focus instead of splitting it across episode, like splitting it across characters. Like
Fully agree.
all this all the researchers storyline could have been like like episodes two and three are basically all the setup all of her setup to going to this conference, just re-edit the episodes so all of the like setup and going to the conference are one episode just for her. Again, I'm kind of going on and on about that, but I think that would have made for a more compelling story.
Yeah, but it's a valid point. Get back, girl.
Hmm.
No, that's
Yeah,
why you dropped your phone.
and, like we get some cool stuff. Like I like the weird like prisms that trap light. I think that's a cool idea. Again, I think because we're trying to fit that in around like the other stuff that's going on, it kind of falls by the wayside because that should be more interesting to me than it is, but we don't get enough time on that. Like, well, we don't get enough build up and execution on that yet. I don't know, like that's just what I'm thinking. I think there's so much good. I wish they had a little more faith in the audience, and I wish they had a little more faith in each individual storyline, you know?
Yeah, but if I remember right, this was like a Netflix exclusive.
Hmm.
I don't think Netflix has had so much trouble with their animes
Yeah,
until of like recent.
yeah. I would say like
And this was one of their earlier ones.
I would say like the last year or so, we've had some really good anime from Netflix. And we've had other anime that are very good from Netflix too. Like Castlevania is really
Oh,
good.
Castlevania's so fucking good.
Um, I'd say, uh, oh gosh, what's it? Record of Ragnarok, I really like too. I love that show. I think it's a lot of fun.
Still have not seen it.
It's a lot of fun. It's honestly me waiting for the next season is kind of pushing me to get the manga, which is kind of nice. But
Okay.
like they've had good stuff, but I feel like this last year, like they've really kicked off getting like a lot of good stuff. Like the Ranma remake was good. Kinnikuman's Man's been really fun. Um, I know there's another anime on there that I was watching that was really good. What was it?
I know they added Pacific Rim the Black, but I haven't watched that.
I haven't either. I've
But
heard it's okay, but
yeah,
unnecessary. Anyway, though,
better than the second movie.
yeah. Well, I mean, setting the bar real fucking high there.
Tried.
Yeah. No, getting back to this, uh, we get like a little bit of like under the like convention hall, and
Oh wow, Castlevania was Netflix's first original anime.
yeah,
What the fuck happened? Where where did they go wrong?
yeah. So we get, and then
Being
we
attacked.
get the two guys who work for the old man going through the forest,
Hey, no.
leading to the setup of Anguirus. It's not technically yet that we get like the official Anguirus reveal, but like their stuff is leading up to that reveal.
Yeah, because they have to track something that took one of the dead Rodans and
Hmm.
will you
Yeah,
stop?
but yeah,
Why are you only like this when I start recording?
she wants your attention and you're not giving it to her. My dog
I
is similar.
know.
He's sitting right next to me right now. But yeah, so we get the researcher talking to the scientist lady. A little more of the chase after the Rodan, but actually Anguirus, and we get an entire fucking sequence about how the researcher couldn't open her suitcase because she locked her key inside of it, but that's impossible because you need a key to lock it, so it's not locked.
Yeah, and then we have a let's see here, what was it? During that was a full 2 minutes of them just doing text for
Yeah,
animation purpose.
yeah,
Talk about filler.
yeah. No, there's a lot that again I call it they needed to trim the fat. Like there's a much better show in here that they're not giving us.
Yeah, 100%. There's a much better show in this.
Yeah,
Can you stop?
yeah. Then
Don't
we
you
get the
fuck with me.
military dealing with something going on, and they go into the forest, and then we get our official first look at Anguirus, which I like the design of, but I want to see it more of it. Like I haven't seen enough of it yet. I like what it looks like in this
It's
shot.
just a beefcake here.
Yeah, yeah, but we get like that front on shot, and I want to see it from the side. I want to
It,
see it from
uh,
the side.
it looks good from the side.
I'm betting it does, but I want to see it. Like
Yeah.
it, like Anguirus looks good from the front, but you got to see it from the side. Yeah. So that was the episode. Again, a lot of just I feel like this show is good, but there's a lot of potential that's being let down because of the
Yeah.
execution.
No, when I watched this when it was first coming out, I wanted it I wanted it to be so much better than what it was.
Hmm.
I was so excited to have a good animated Godzilla, which we haven't seen since what 2000 when we got the '98 version,
Yeah.
and then they came out with Godzilla Earth, which good concept,
Hmm.
horrible execution. Care what anyone says. What did they do to my boy Mechagodzilla, who's just a city?
Yep.
His concept art was terrific, terrifying, and perfect. Stop. No, no talking back. Stop it.
Okay. Yeah. No. Again, I feel like it's yeah. I don't know. Again, I'm still optimistic. It's got some cool stuff going on in it. I just think it could have been stronger.
And it will, at points, it will definitely get stronger. Like, it's not going to be as bad, like we said, as bad as Gamera was, that's for
Hmm.
sure. But it will leave you wanting more.
Yeah. That's kind of what I got the impression of just watching this is like I always want a little more than what they're giving me. But anyway, with that, tune in next time where we talk about, I'm assuming, an Anguirus heavy episode.
And Gears and something new, I believe, also.
Oh, cool. Well then, tune in next time. Bye bye.
Bye.